Why this music notation? Well, because the corresponding notes on a keyboard, the beats within a measure, as well as the duration of notes, can be read in an extremely simple way in KlavarSkribo, which is what this music notation is called. It is also referred to as Klavar or Klavar-music notation. The note that needs to be played has been notated in a very clever way, as it were, on the keyboard. The result? You'll never make any more mistakes. That sounds like music to your ears? Well, that's what you want, right? Making music instead of solving puzzles? It goes as follows. When a black key needs to be played, there's a black note head on the vertical black line on top of its so-called stem. When a white key needs to be played, there's a white note head in between the vertical black lines underneath its stem. That stem pointing to the left or to the right indicates which hand should play that note. The dotted vertical lines are in the center of the keyboard, to the left of which is a key called middle C. In this way, it's easy to orient yourself on the keyboard. The notes are read not from left to right, but from top to bottom, and are literally laid out parallel to your fingers. Quite logical, actually. All notes on the same stem and those on the same horizontal line are played simultaneously. For this, you will usually need both hands. It's already possible now to find, for example, an A on the keyboard. Just try it out and look for an A on a real keyboard. Pause the clip now. This is how it should be. Of course, you can also play more notes at the same time. Try to find these notes located around the center of the keyboard as well. So pause the clip again and give it a try now. If you played these notes correctly, it would sound like this. So, in only 3 minutes of instruction, every note indicated in a piece of music can be found immediately in KlavarSkribo. So it'll be hard to make mistakes, and that is really special. The question can be asked at what point a note is played, held, and released again. 2 additional signs indicate the duration: the rest and the continuous dot. This is how it works. A note will sound until you get to a rest, or until there is another note for that hand. Watch and listen. Play the D and hold it until there is a rest. Play the F and release it when the B must sound. Here is the continuous dot for when the F needs to continue sounding when the B or other notes are added. A continuous dot is visible underneath the F on the same horizontal line as the added notes. So the F is not played again, but held. Some publishers place continuous dots at the beginning of a new measure as well, when the note has to remain sounding. The final thing you should know about KlavarSkribo: how do you distinguish the meter? The measure begins and ends with a thicker horizontal bar line around the notes to play. The number of beats in the measure is always indicated in the very first measure, or rather, to the left of the first measure, and also later if the meter changes in the course of the piece. So, the first horizontal bar line in a measure is the first beat in that measure. A 3-beat measure is divided into 3 equal parts separated by 2 dotted horizontal lines. A 4-beat measure is divided into 4 parts, a 6-beat bar into 6, etc. The meter of the music can be deducted from the positioning of the notes in the measure and therefore can be easily read. The term quarter note from the traditional notation is so established that it is also used in KlavarSkribo for a note representing 1 beat. Here is an example of a 3-beat measure in which a note plays on the first beat, so the key to play has been notated on the bar line. During the second beat, a note is added on the half beat. There is a continuous dot underneath the E. Now there is no continuous dot underneath the E. Here is a 6-beat measure in which a note is added on the 3rd and the 6th beat. The chord in the left hand is held for 6 beats and played again on the 1st beat of the next measure. And this is how it sounds. Believe it or not, in just 6 minutes, the basics of KlavarSkribo have been explained. Finally, listen to this little piece of music and try to recognize what has been discussed. If you are familiar with the traditional notation, this piece is an F sharp major with 6 sharps. Would you like to try to play this lullaby yourself sometime? The download link can be found in the description below. First, play only the melody with your right hand. Of course, it won't go smoothly and without mistakes right away. Keyboard technique and practice are absolutely necessary with KlavarSkribo as well, just like having a teacher in order to learn how to play really well. But the great advantage of KlavarSkribo is no frustrating loss of time and disappointment because of reading clefs, sharps, flats, and other tricky key signatures and duration signs, because those are really a thing of the past. Do you already read traditional notation? Challenge yourself with this song in 6 sharps. After that, play it with KlavarSkribo. You'll be surprised to be able to find the right notes very fast because, after all, you must already have keyboard technique.